Life, come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you, get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, what's up? What's happening, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and I am so excited to be here with you on tonight. And I have something special. I have a special guest. I'm so excited. Oh my God, I can't hardly wait. So as you come in, please come on in. And as you're coming in, I want you to put in the comments box where you're watching from, because I know we have people that watch from all over the world. So put in the comments box where you're watching from. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the Fly Nubian Queen. Make sure that you're subscribing to at CC the CEO on YouTube. I am Constance Carter on Facebook. I am Constance Carter on Instagram. All right. So listen, as you come in, hey, y'all, you guys know what to do. This is a dialogue and not a monologue. I like for you to talk back to me. Talk black to me. So make sure that you go ahead and put in the comments box where you're watching from. All right. So I don't know if you've been living under a rock, then you may not have seen the windstorm, the firestorm that has been happening on Club Shay Shay as of the last couple of weeks. I mean, Shannon Sharpe is absolutely killing the game. What's up, Coletti from Wisconsin? Shannon Sharpe has absolutely been killing the game. Who was that in the group talking about, hey, what's that? You guys know when you are in the private groups, you got to put your name besides it because it just says Facebook user, or you got to go click on that StreamYard thing and register or whatever. But make sure you put where you're from. I see Queen V from Virginia. What's happening? What's up, Eddie? Yo, what's crack-a-lacking? All right, so if you haven't been under a rock, then you've probably seen what's been happening on Shannon Sharpe's channel, Club Shay Shay. Monique was on there yesterday. They just released it, and as of today, I don't know how many views that thing has, but yesterday, this morning I seen, I think we were at 2 million views. So let me just see. Let me see. Let's see, Club Shay Shay. Let me just look on here real quick. Let me see how many views we got right now. Club Shay Shay. How many views you got? Anybody know off top how many views that this full episode got? 4.9 million views. So I think it may be a little bit on par with no. By the 24 hours, I think Cat Williams was at like 6 million views from what I remember. But right now it's at 4.9, almost 5 million views. By the time, this broadcast is over, it's going to be at probably 5 million views. It'll probably be at 10, 12 million views tomorrow. But there were a lot of things that Miss Monique had discussed on this podcast that I thought was very interesting. And so I wanted to have a dialogue with my good friend. And I'm going to bring him out. But before I bring him out, I want to tell you a little bit about this world famous. I got a celebrity, y'all. I got a celebrity on the show tonight. This is Dave Anderson. He is the business bully. And when he gets on here, you're going to see why they call him a bully. He is a very successful business coach. He's actually a distinguished business coach. He's a motivational speaker. He's a best-selling author. And through his company, the Business Bully LLC, he is registered. He's contributed significantly to the growth and success of hundreds of small and mid-sized businesses. His approach involves guiding these businesses in making intelligent, well-calculated decisions that lead to substantial profits and expansion. So that he ain't just no bully. This man is a business bully.
Listen.
You run a business or a business? Which one is it?
My good friend Dr. George C. Frazier say I do business.
Not business. Yeah.
The ringers, they do business.
Yeah.
I ain't the business I'm the business bully.
So you're not a businessman, you a business.
I'm a business
man. All right, bet. I love Dr. Frazier. In fact, yes. I will be speaking at the Power Networking Conference this upcoming June and July. I've been speaking there for a few years.
Love it.
One of my most favorite conferences of the year. But I'm so happy to have you on here. What have you been up to lately? What you been doing?
Man, I have been rocking and rolling. I just got off the road. I was in Atlanta doing a press run. I did like 2 or 3 shows out there, and Whew. People like Bobby Brown would say, some ask me questions, and so I've been watching those interviews roll out, and then after that, aside from being a business coach, I manage and handle things for certain talent, and one of my clients is Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. And so I was out on the road with him. We were in New Orleans. I came back and I got hit with the world's worst flu. So I'm just recovering from that. I'm like, this is the first day I've had like full voice back, and I put my lungs back in their chest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad you're well, and I'm so glad that you are here.
Yes.
I'm honored to have such a distinguished businessman here talking to me tonight, and just to have an intelligent conversation with a beautiful brother. I love it.
Listen, it's you.
I love what you're doing in the world too. Listen, and we have a lot of polarizing opinions. Some similar polarizing opinions. I be seeing you out there in the world of social media saying your stuff on them blogs.
Yes,
and getting people pissed off.
Yes. Listen, here's the thing, right? I feel like the world is professional wrestling. And in professional wrestling, you've got good guys, and everybody wants to be a good guy. Like when I broke into business coaching, the majority of my peers are women, and nothing against my sisters. I love my sisters. But a lot of business coaches I was seeing were doing things like, oh, we're going to have a mimosa brunch. And we're gonna do a vision book party. And I'm like, all of the cutouts and safety scissors and glue sticks ain't gonna get you no closer to this bottom line, boo-boo cakes. So I'm gonna put all that BS to the side, and let's get down with some work, okay? Right? Oh, I'm gonna unbig my back next year. No, you're not. First of all, what we gonna do is we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna go to the gym. We're gonna go to the gym, and we're not going to pose. We're not looking for angles. We're actually going to pick up heavy things and then put them down, right? So the accountability thing comes in because you need the bad guy. You need the Ric Flair. You need the Ice Cube. You need the person that's not going to say, everything you do is wonderful and at least you tried. Like, I'm not that guy.
Oh, everybody don't get a trophy with you?
Nah, I abhor 17th place trophies. My 24-year-old, right? Because you and I got babies around the same age. My 24-year-old, my wife would be like, Dave, you don't let her win. No, I don't let her win. We be playing Mortal Kombat, whatever. She went on a date with a guy who took her to an arcade. Let's just say that he was embarrassed because she was murdering him. Because I don't give trophies. I don't give you no breaks. I don't give you no daylight. It's time, like you either have it or you don't. You either win or you're a loser. And there's a whole lot of 17th place trophy winners running around here thinking that they're winners and they're actually losers. Like, I'm saying.
So, David, is that why they call you the business bully? Is that what? Because you be just bullying folks? Who gave you the moniker?
Okay, true story. Now, you have been around as long as I have. And Facebook groups were a thing, let's say, 8-10 years ago. They're still dope now, but back then, everybody had a black-owned business group. And there was this one group where this kid was like, I really need help. I just want to talk to somebody who can coach me. So I get on the phone with him. And he said, I'm going to send you some cookies. And he sent me these cookies. And Constance, as a fat dude, I'm 561 pounds at this point. So this what you got right here. Nah, this one, nah. This
it was two of you.
Oh. So he sent me them cookies. I was like, oh, baby. I said, listen, we need to market these cookies. We need to start putting some things together. He was like, yeah. He's like, but Mr. Anderson, I don't have no money. I said, okay, cool. Well, I'll front the money. Just give me 40% of your business. Well, you want to take all of my company. I said, how much money did you make last month?
0% of zero is zero.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So he gets back in that same Facebook group, said, Dave tried to steal my company. And then somebody decided, some Negro, who I don't remember, doesn't matter, he's lost to the annals of history, got in there and said, Dave Anderson, you're a business bully. I said, no, bitch, I'm the business bully. And then I went and trademarked it, and I was the business bully ever since.
I love it. So let me ask you this, because I've seen some of your podcast. You on everybody's platform and everybody's podcast, and I think that's so dope. You out here making your rounds, and I think you're amazing. And before we get into the topic at hand, I did see, I saw one of the podcasts that you were on where you said, you told your story about how you worked in radio and how they fired your ass.
Yes.
And how it led to now you going from being essentially broke in that industry to being a multimillionaire.
Yes.
How'd that happen?
Well, It's funny now. It wasn't funny
It wasn't
15
funny
years
then.
ago. It was not funny 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I was washing my nuts in the gas station sink. The thing
Wait,
of it,
wait. We're not gonna glaze over that. I just want you to say that one more time. I want you to say that one more again, real slow for the people in
okay.
the back.
So in radio, a few things always happen, right? The first thing is when you get fired, and it's always best to get fired. If you quit unless you got another job lined up, you stupid because you're gonna need some unemployment. I gotten fired, and the person who fired me, who I've talked about, and I'm not going to continue to say his name, was in effect blackballing me, so I couldn't get anything else happening. And people who knew what were going on had to, for their own livelihoods, act like I didn't exist. Those who did not know what was going on just thought that I was doing what I always do, because I'll ride out my 6-month non-compete and then pop up at your competitor sounding like Tupac with the Outlaws. First off, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim, So for me, either people were scared to say anything or everybody thought I was all right. And they used to call me Radio Tupac. And it got to a point where people forgot that last time Tupac got shot, he died. And so I go on these interviews, things would be great. And then next thing you know, we decided to do something else. And I'm like, something else? We was talking about how we was going blah, blah, blah. So long story short, I lost everything. Except for my truck and whatever I could fit in it. I lost everything. You know how people love you when you hot, and then all of a sudden when you ain't, they going, everybody.
Yeah,
but I thought she loved me. Nah, she going too. Everybody going. And nobody had room for me at the end. And so I wound
Jesus
up
Christ.
I wound up washing my lower extremities, and I was taking whore baths every day in a quick trip at 360 and Carrier in Arlington, Texas.
So at 560 pounds, your big ass was washing your nuts in the sink.
Well, at that point, I was probably 450, maybe 425.
And Arlington, Texas is pretty hot.
It is pretty hot. But let me tell you something. I was one of them fat people. I refuse to stink. Because, you can say whatever you want. My wife even tell you, I'm a great many things, but I ain't never been ugly. And she used to say, Dave, you can lose fat. You can't lose ugly. Shit. So I was pretty. So my pretty fat ass, listen, my pretty fat ass wasn't going to stink. I don't give a damn if I was homeless. And you know how bad it is being homeless and looking this good? Because you can't get the good sign and whatnot. Your haircut's still kind of fresh, so you can't go out here begging. So I was working at a call center. And during the day, and then I leave like I was going home. I'm sleeping in Walmart parking lots in between two tractor trailers. It was a horrible time for me. But
how long was this?
4.5 months. Wow. I was homeless, and then my late brother got arrested. So he was like, "Yo, where you at?" And I'm like, "I'm at work." No, where are you living? And I was like, "I'm living in my truck." He was like, "Negro."
So your pride wouldn't let you tell your family that you
I don't think you understand what I went in about 2 months. So let's run this down. 2 months before I got let go, I was in a war between the talent who wound up firing me and the company who wanted to fire him. Right? So the company that wanted to fire him was like, "Yo, we can do the show without him. We'll hire D.L. Hughley. We'll hire Cedric the Entertainer. We'll hire Rudy Rush." And I'm like, "No, you can't do that." Because at this point, I'm thinking this dude is one of my best friends.
Oh.
So, I'm torn, right? And then he's like, "Oh, forget what they talking about. They ain't going to do nothing, da-da-da-da-da-da." Right? So I finally got all that dealt with. So that was 2 months of dealing with the stress of that every day from 2 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, 5 days a week. Then, after that, when things started to get bad, lose the job, money ain't flowing, the person that says they're going to be with you, all of a sudden, when the money goes, the honey don't stay.
Damn.
So the honey's out, right? Now you have to understand the level of shit that I talk. And I ain't never sweated a job. I ain't never sweated none of that has ever been a thing for me. So the trauma that I was going through, and part of it was my pride, but a lot of it was I was just getting beaten down and beaten down and beaten down by life because I made silly choices by putting my future, my destiny, and my talents all in the hands and the baskets of other people that did not truly understand, honor, or appreciate them. And so it wasn't just my pride. It was my pride plus trauma plus heartbreak plus, now I'm a pariah. I was Hosanna on Friday.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday they like crucify him.
Damn.
Radio and Records youngest executive producer, fastest growing morning show in the history of the business. Like all this stuff. I'm 28 years old.
Wow. And everything was just stacked and stacked and stacked all at once. What did you learn from that though?
Two things. No one will ever pay you what you're worth. You get what you negotiate. Number two, they will take your ideas, repackage them, tell you it was a work for hire, then have the number one show on TV, and then, excuse me, and then...
Wait, what was that? Do that again?
Number one show on TV. Sorry, still recovering. And what'll happen is they'll move on, and you'll be broke. It's like if you've ever seen a Temptations movie when they kick the one dude out the Temptations and then all of a sudden they on every TV sitting there at the bar. That's my ass. I'm like, that's my show. So I have learned that I can rely on me. And this is the most important thing for people who think I'm anti-job. And I want people to understand this. I'm anti-job for me because anytime I got fired, I deserved to be fired. Not because I was wrong, but because it's not my show. It's not my company. If it's not my company, I can be as creative as they feel comfortable with. Right. I can't be the innovative, visionary, reckless dude that I can be when I hold all the chips. Right. So the best thing I could do is to stop playing like a worker bee and go build my own colony. Right. And that's what I learned. I learned that it's a different ball game when you don't have to worry about being someplace that you don't want to be, or you don't have to worry about when you get up, or if you want to go see your kids' recitals or plays or any of that. I call on my own shots. If I don't like something, I change it. If you're not doing what I need you to do, I'll fire you. It is that simple for me.
So what was your pivot into entrepreneurship? Like, what was the first thing that you did when you became an entrepreneur?
Wow. So that was an accident too. So one night I'm at a bar. I'm homeless.
This sounds like a joke. Go ahead.
No.
One night at the bar. Go ahead.
A quarter-ton man walks into a bar and orders a plate of chicken wings. Yeah. And the BET Awards are on. This is like right after Michael Jackson died. And I'm watching it. And again, nothing against the good folks at BET, but I'm watching it and I decided to get on Facebook. Now, this is before Zucks got smart with the algorithm. And I composed on my phone the top 10 reasons why the BET Awards made me want to vomit. And it got picked up by I'm talking to the LA Times picked it up, USA Today picked it up. All these folks picked it up and it was viral overnight. And I was like, oh, shit. Because they didn't know, nothing about homeless or radio. They just saw something that was quality and it kept getting shared. And I was like, oh, so I don't need the radio. And that was the first thing that clicked. The second thing that wound up happening was once I realized that these folks were blocking my ability to get back on the air, a buddy of mine was like, yo, you should try Blog Talk. And so at this point, fast forward some months, I'm living in my brother's garage and I'm doing a Blog Talk show from my brother's garage. And I started calling in all of the favors I had amassed after a 20 some odd year career in radio. And so like my first week of Blog Talk, we had like Maxwell, Queen Latifah, Talib Kweli, like we had all these people. And out of nowhere, like first week I'm like top 50. Then towards the end of the week, I'm number 2. 2 weeks later, I'm number 1. Whoa. Fast forward a year, I'm with a company that we built called Spreaker, me and an Italian guy named Francesco Bascieri. Spreaker goes on to absorb and buy Blog Talk.
What?
Yeah.
You were instrumental in that?
Yes, indeed. So sometimes the thing that you're looking at as, oh God, why have you forsaken me? God's like, no. Hold on.
Got something bigger.
Let me cook.
Right. Let me cook.
I'm cooking right now.
Let me
You
cook.
can't see what I see.
Right.
And what I've also understood is I'm not married to anything but Mrs. Anderson. Everything else can go. Yeah. Everything else doesn't matter. And the other part of that is I realized that this whole time I thought I was Dave Anderson and I'm not. I'm Joseph. And I was making the fatal mistake of telling my brothers my dreams. And then as a result, I got sold into slavery. And as a result, people want to say, oh, you did this and you're that. And, because I won't get with you, or I won't put you on the Breakfast Club, or some old dumb stuff you want to try. And you know what I'm saying? Those are the things that keep mere mortals down. That for me, it's water off a duck's back.
Right.
And so what I realized is, I'm supposed to be great. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to shrink it. I am a Matthew 5:15 type of Christian, meaning I'm not going to hide my light under a bushel because it makes you uncomfortable. I'm going to show my light, and I'm going to shine it wherever it goes. That's where this little light of mine comes from. And you'll be all right or not, but we're going to keep snapping these necks and cashing these checks.
You've been doing. And that's what you've been doing. So how long have you been an entrepreneur?
Wow. I would say I founded the business in 2006. I didn't get serious about the business until December of 2011, where I retired from what would be then my last radio job, because I went back one more time because I was stupid and disobedient to God. So from December 2011 until now, I have been full time.
So 13 years essentially.
Yeah.
So would you say that you were blackballed?
Oh, yes.
All right. So that's actually a good transition into what we were talking about earlier, because you and I were just having a conversation about what's been going on in this industry. And you being a person that's been in the industry, been in around all of these celebrities and all of these people, you see what it is firsthand. You've been blackballed. How were you blackballed, first of all?
All right. So what happens, right? Sometimes we got to be careful. Everybody thinks that when you look at if you look at the movie Frankenstein, right, or the book Frankenstein, everybody focuses so much on the monster. People forget somebody had to make that monster. And so while you're worried about the monster, like even Frankenstein didn't realize that this monster could get out of control. He was so busy trying to bring something to life. And so I took somebody who was relatively famous, and then I made them even more famous. And as a result, sometimes when everybody's telling you the things that I put in marketing, like you're a superstar comedian, and like, you're the hottest thing since Steve Harvey and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes people believe the press I wrote for you. And what winds up happening is, you start exerting what little power you think you have. And you might have that power. Like, there's a difference between somebody who can run a block and somebody who can run a cartel. You understand? So
do you want to be the kingpin, or do you want to be the nigga out there on the corner?
Listen,
which one you want to do?
You can have a nice little corner boy system with all your little corner boys with it. But, like I would tell my former peers in that life, you can get in a club in this particular city. I can get in a club in any city I want to. Right? You need this radio station to be relevant. When the next time I I would tell them, next time I come back here, you're all going to be like, yeah, wow. And guess what? That's what it is. You can't break somebody that God made. So you can put in roadblocks. And me and Dr. Fraser have this conversation all the time. When it's time to get to a new level, God doesn't just, he gives you obstacles. And then you got to climb those obstacles.
New levels, new devils.
That's it. So for me, they would try that. They get on the phone, yo, if you hire him, then we're not going to do whatever it was.
Wow.
And can I prove it? Yeah. Do I have to? No, because everybody who knows, and there's enough people, unless all these eyewitnesses and all these emails and all of these posts and all of these letters and all of these texts I have say otherwise. So yeah, you can try that. But the thing of it is, you're not a better thinker than me. You're not a better entrepreneur than me. You damn sure ain't a better speaker than me. So you can delay me, but you can't deny me.
Oof.
So, right, the thing of it is, when I was a kid, my parents and my uncles and aunts, they would have a competition to see which book could blow my mind the fastest. And so my uncle gives me the story of Oedipus. And the funny thing about Oedipus, everybody talks about the Oedipus complex and you marry your mother. No. Oedipus is Kung Fu Panda. Let's break this down. The same hero's journey is the same hero's journey. The problem is somebody tells you something, and in order to avoid pain, you make drastic decisions. You make drastic steps. And what happens is, what you don't seem to understand is that ass whipping you've been avoiding is on the road you took to avoid it. And your uppance is coming. And it looks like me.
Wow.
Because all you had to do was leave me alone. All you had to do was, I'd have been one of these happy little people that sits up there and asks the same 5 radio questions everybody asks. Hey, who's on the project /album/movie? What have you been up to? Who are you dating? What's on the horizon for you? And what advice do you have for people who want to be where you are? I could have sat up there and spent the rest of my career asking those 5 questions better than anybody.
Right.
Unfortunately, when you cut that off, something broke off in me and it clicked. And the only time I fit in a radio station is as a guest. And I'll bust it up with people I used to work with. I'll take pictures. We'll have a great time. And then I'm like, oh, that was fun. I've turned down 28 radio jobs since I retired.
Wow.
28.
Why would you go back if you're making all this money in as a business owner?
They don't get that because here's the thing. People only respect you at the level at which they met you. So in their minds, they can throw 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand on the table. And I'm just supposed to jump.
Right.
They don't get that. Like, it's beyond them. And I'm
So-
not going to correct them.
So when we talk about blackball and we talk about Monique, right? Monique said she was blackballed. And did you watch the interview? You watched the interview.
I did.
So she said she was blackballed by 3 people: Lee Davis, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey. She was very clear, very specific. And she said, Lee Daniels.
Lee Daniels, right.
Lee Daniels, she said, apologized. He made it right. He apologized, but Tyler Perry apologized in private, but would not apologize in public, and said the only way he would talk to her is if she apologized, even though he apologized to her in private, and she has a video recording of it, right? And then Oprah, just ain't doing it. What do you think about her and her being blackballed? And a lot of people are saying the reason why she is where she is because of her husband. What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, can we stop demonizing black marriages? Let's just start with that. First of all, first lesson I learned, I went to a charter high school. It was the worst high school in America, but they tried to make it a charter school. It's just what you do with Negroes.
In Philly?
Yeah. And I was in the law charter for like a month before I realized that I was supposed to be in entertainment and marketing. And the first thing they said was, do you know that it's the law that if it's 6 o'clock in my house, it has to be 6 o'clock in your house? And I was like, yo, that's not right. And the teacher said, you're absolutely right, Mr. Anderson. That's not right. Whatever time it is in your house, whatever time you say it is in your house. So the time that Monique has with her husband and how they choose to move, it might not be for Constance. It ain't for Dave. But guess what? If it works for them, that ain't on us. But the one thing that does work for me is I'm going to leave my household. If I can't leave my household, that's not my household. Right? The other part of that is in entertainment, they want you to go along to get along because it's a lot easier when you have people who are controlled only by finances. If you think I'm lying, allow me to submit to you the truth. The truth is, say around 2008, right? Lee Daniels had just finished this movie, Precious, right? It was already shot, filmed, paid for, right? That movie was distributed by Lionsgate, right? That movie was reprehensible. She had children. Precious had children named Mongol. Do you know what a Mongol is? Okay? The daddy was raping her. The mommy was raping her. Everybody was just, it was horrible. And then when I went to see the movie, I thought it was a comedy because she stole the bucket of chicken and started running. And then when she got to school, she just had bones. The movie, if anybody knew who was really behind that movie, black people would have protested. So you know what they did? They said, Oprah and Tyler, we're going to put your names on this movie. And you're going to say you executive produced this movie so that everybody will calm down. On top of that, what we're going to do is say Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire. See, because black people gave it to you. So black people can't be mad at it. Y'all can Google this. There's a movie called Road to Perdition. It's based on a comic book. And until I told you that Tom Hanks Oscar-nominated performance was based on a comic book movie, you would have never known it. Because they don't usually tell you the source material. They may say based on a true story, it might be in the credits, but they never put it in the marketing. They did that to calm black people down. So whenever there's something that they need to get Negroes in line, they will use Oprah and they will use Tyler Perry. The same way that David Geffen called Tyler Perry and Gayle King to his boat and said, listen, we're going to crucify Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson been dead. But because Michael Jackson wouldn't sleep with David Geffen, he got mad and said he was going to make it his mission to destroy him. And that's what they did. So much so, if you look at the timeline where one of those little boys who lied on Michael Jackson said that there was this part of Neverland where Michael had diddled him, Michael was literally on stage halfway around the world at that particular date, and that part of Neverland had not been built yet.
Wow.
But Oprah back there just interviewing him, right? Oprah, good friend of mine is a guy named Chris Bridges. Chris Bridges is better known as Ludacris. Ludacris is, old radio dude. You know what I'm saying? He is a party guy. He is not a gangster. He is not a thug. I'm not saying he's soft because he's not, but he's not the guy that you look at and say, oh, God, when it comes to everything deplorable about rap, Ludacris is the first name in mind.
Right now.
When he went on Oprah's show to promote Crash, she sat there and berated him for so long they had to edit it. They had to edit it down. But then you fast forward a couple of years and she's in the Marcy Projects having quarter waters with Jay-Z and nobody finds that suspicious?
Yeah, I did. I was like, okay, so she likes rap music now because I remember when she berated Ludacris.
But now she's good with Jay because she was told to be. Like, you got to understand that sometimes, the same way back on plantations, they would have certain Negroes to keep us in line. Certain Negroes to, Master Joe don't mean no harm. Just go on and pick a couple more bushels of cotton. It's all right. So, yeah. So, Monique's saying, listen, I'm tired. I've got a TV show on BET. I've done what I was supposed to do. I did this as a favor to y'all, and I did it for 50 grand. Like, how much more do y'all want from me for 50 grand?
Right.
Because I know you ain't just making 50 grand off of this.
Right.
She wasn't wrong.
Right.
But the second you say no, or the second that I'll never forget one time I was told I was out of order because I did not want to do, and I had it in my contract that I didn't have to do certain appearances if I didn't want to do them. And one appearance I didn't want to do was at a car lot, because I don't know if you know this, Constance, and I haven't known you for that long, but I'm pretty sure you never woke up one day, heard an ad on the radio and said, you know what, I want to go buy my car from them.
Right.
No one has in the history of ever. But yet and still that's an issue for them. I decided to do a book signing at Human Books in Harlem, and they hit the roof. Because God forbid this Negro, put pen to paper and like sign autographs of books where people could actually learn something. So when I tell you the way they blackball folks and the way they use what I like to call avatars to do it, yeah, it's a common thing. And there's not anybody you can think of who does not have somebody else up their hands, pulling their strings, moving them like little Negro Kermit the Frogs in order to hinder somebody.
What do you think about, all because it seemed like Steve Harvey, how he said, well, you ain't wrong, but we black. Wait. Let me show you the clip of when she was on Steve Harvey's show. Hold on 1 second. Let me. And I want to get your opinion on what you think about that.
Nothing wrong.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing,
we got
to flex a different way. As we try to come through this, because what I want really is for you to come through, because I know who you really are. And so what I want you to do is come through this with a different way. Because you, Monique, you my girl. I love you like a sister. I hate what's happening to you. I hate what they're saying that's not true. I want them to know that you are caring, that you're a great mother, that you're an incredible talent. I don't like the fact that you've been blackballed. You can be unblackballed. You too talented to have to worry about all this where the next one coming from. I want this to end for you.
Well, listen.
I want it to end for you, Monique, because I love you. Because these people are doing it the wrong way, and you better than that. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This the money game.
But
we in the money game. And
We're
you
in the
cannot
money game.
sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for
This
poor
why I
people
love
is not be
my
one of them. You cannot
We're in
help
the money
them
game.
all.
But let me tell you what the game is
Cannot
before the
help
money
them
game.
like this.
Before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
But Mo,
And wait a minute.
if
wait
I
a minute.
crumble,
If you
my
crumble-
children crumble, my grandchildren crumble. I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement. There are ways to win the war in a different way. We got more, right?
What you think about that, brother? We black out here.
Okay, first of all, I always have said, and again, I don't have anything particularly personally against Steve Harvey. I think Steve Harvey, is Steve Harvey. I have an issue when people tend to think that because we're black out here, we're supposed to kowtow and step and fetch to the whims of white people. That's not how any of this works. And it's real easy to say that when everything that you have, for the most part, outside of jokes, and some of them you took, everything's been handed to you. For example, act like a lady, think like a man. Boomerang, Big Boom. Steve's bodyguard for many, many years wrote a book called Ladies, If You Want Closure, You Might Want to Start With Your Legs.
His bodyguard wrote that?
Yes. It looks a whole lot like Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. I'm not saying it was stolen. I didn't have to. So the other part of that is when they exalt somebody who couldn't buy a role in Hollywood, stabbed his friend in the back trying to get his. When they just put him everywhere. You mean to tell me that listen, I never started talking about weight loss until I lost 312 pounds. You want to know why? Because I'd be a hypocrite. So why in the world are you listening to somebody that has never been successful in marriage? Do you understand the relationship expert who's never been successful in marriage? That's like getting the kid who gets picked on every day to sit up here and start doing self-defense classes for the rest of the kids in the schoolyard.
That part.
It doesn't make any sense. The other part of that is, there is one thing Steve Harvey said that I do agree with. And only one, but not in this context.
We black out here?
No. We's black out. No.
Exactly.
You best get on. Listen, hold on. I could have swore the coon light just automatically came on and said, now you's best get on from around here with all that talk. This the money game. You can't be out here like that. Your husband can't be out here like that. These white folk. Mm-mm. What he did say that I do agree with, that most black people miss, is that the best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. I do agree with that, but I don't think you got to make your money off the backs of being an ass-kissing, boot-licking, jiving-ass coon. I don't think you need to do that. And if I got to do that, listen, I'm cool. I tell people all the time, people like, because I'll see stuff in the comments for some clip that'll go viral because somebody will ask me about one of their favorites and I'll tell the truth. And they'll say, well, I don't know this Negro, da-da-da-da-da. You weren't supposed to know me. Your favorite does. You ever had a Red Bull? You welcome. Wendy Williams, you welcome. Charlamagne, you welcome. Ricky Smiley, you welcome. DJ Clue, you're welcome. Desert Storm Radio, you're welcome. So podcasting, you're welcome. So you're not supposed to know the guy behind the curtain unless the guy behind the curtain decides to come out. And that's the thing. To quote Mystical, I might not be nothing to you, but I'm on this label.
Ooh.
I'm not worried about them. You can only be blackballed if you choose to play their reindeer games. And what I told Monique's people when it first happened, when the whole thing with Netflix happened, because this was right after I got the realization, really got it. I'm a good 4 or 5 years in on my business, and I'm like, and I was asked, what do you think should happen? I said, when they gave the okey doke to Conan O'Brien and said, yeah, you're the host of the Tonight Show, but we're going to give Jay Leno the Tonight Show spot, but it's not the Tonight Show, it'll be the 10 show, and you'll come on right after that, and then Jimmy Fallon will come on right after that. And Conan was like, no, this is some bull. And they said, okay, well, if you don't like it, you can walk, but you can't be on TV for 6 months. Conan said, cool. He took his check and he bounced. And you know what he did? He called forth his team, and he sat his team all in his house, and he said, find every single venue that I can play, and we're gonna videotape this thing, and I'm gonna rock it the hell out. And what I told Monique's people is what she needs to do is go out here on the road, because people love her. She needs to do a special, but she needs to do a tour and call it Blackballed Live, and we put big black balls on the stage, and then she talk about all these bastards. Now, this is 2018. This ain't 2024. I'm like, no, we hit it while the iron's hot. Instead of whining and bitching it, and again, it's not my party, but I was asked. Instead of whining and bitching about what Netflix isn't going to give you and how unfair it is, it's theirs.
Right.
We don't need them. You don't need them. You can do a special independent, and Hulu will buy it from you.
That's true.
Right? So fast forward, and then she got the deal with CBS, did that one special for Showtime, and then eventually got a Netflix special. But I would have went at it the Conan O'Brien way. But when you decide to subjugate yourself, when you already have the people, like, you can't break people. Like, people who are Dave Anderson fans regardless of what you say about me, regardless of what you feel about me, they're going to rock with me. And those who wasn't, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about that. A lot of other people don't have that thing in them. Mm-hmm. They need the system because it's all they know. The fleas need the jar. Even though the lid's off the jar, they need the jar because they're secure in the jar.
Right.
They need the barrel because they don't know how to do anything other than pull the other crabs down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, like that's what happens all of the time, and there's not anybody in this industry who wants to be in this industry in that way who does not experience that unless they've got a major backer that says, "Nah, we rocking with you."
So one of the things that she said on the podcast was that every time she went up for a role, Oprah took her role. And I was, looking at the comments, and people was like, girl, Oprah ain't thinking about you. Oprah, she ain't got, you ain't even on her level. What do you think about that?
Oh, okay. When Oprah won an Academy Award, that's the end of the conversation. It's like when people talk about LeBron and Jordan. Like, we're not talking talk shows. We're not talking favorite things. We're talking Academy Awards. Mm-hmm. What's the last Oprah joke you rolled and laughed at? In that lane, she dominates Oprah. But as a business owner that has a certain level of, I hate the term now, influence, I literally told a client today, you can either listen to what I'm telling you, or you can go off and do whatever you want to do, and I'll find or create a company that does what you do, and I'll do everything that I was telling you to do, and then I'll crush you, and then you can go work over at Amazon warehouse, because they give you benefits on the first day.
Damn, you're a bully.
No, I'm not.
You're a business bully.
No, I'm accountable. And I hold people accountable. But my whole thing is, if you want to pay me $50,000 to argue with me, let's just cut to the chase. Because if you were right, you wouldn't have come to me in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I got to be pushed to be that petty. And even then, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to do it because you don't matter that much to me. But to people who understand and owe everything to the system, look at how many people have had to build that Oprah machine. Steven Spielberg, the King brothers who did King World, Discovery. There's a lot of moving parts to that machine that have built what you now know as the Oprah effect. Yeah. So
that is what it is.
Listen, don't act like people don't shut people down. I just told you what happened to me.
Yeah.
And most people, they don't know I'm behind a whole lot of stuff that I already talked about. You understand? Right. So imagine if it's somebody who's got an Academy Award. Imagine somebody who's got actual talent. Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can because they wouldn't buck. Yeah. They wouldn't break. They wouldn't bow down. They wouldn't kowtow and step and fetch. So yeah, I believe every word of it.
So as you guys listen, I know you guys are enjoying Mr. Dave Anderson, the business bully. Please, where can they find you,
Oh,
Dave?
you can find me at the Business Bully on all social media platforms, especially Instagram. And I just dropped a brand new like 2.5 minute mastermind. I don't do long webinars no more. That's for old people. I ain't got time. Thebusinessbully.com/without paid ads. I will show you what to do. You've never in your life seen a Dave Anderson ad.
I'm Constance Carter. Follow me. Make sure you subscribe to the Fly Nubian Queen. But I wanted to introduce you because somebody said, somebody got on here late and they said, well, who is this person? I don't know who he is. So this is Dave Anderson, the business bully. He's been in business for the last 13 years, formerly in radio, built a conglomerate, and now he is helping business owners all over the country. So if you don't know, now you know, baby. Make sure you follow him. So going back to the discussion, and again, follow me, CC the CEO, or
Yes.
I am Constance Carter. I saw DL Hughley.
Uh-huh.
They had a big falling out. I think last year sometime.
Uh-huh.
I guess they were supposed to be on a ticket together, and they were fighting over who was supposed to headline. She said, "I got the contract." He said, "I got an MOU or a memorandum." And so there's this thing going back and forth. She mentioned something on her show. He came back and said she's a goddamn lie. And then her and her husband came today. In fact, I just got a small portion of it, but I want to get your opinion because many people say that her husband, just like Steve just said, your husband can't be out here doing, so there's just
our brother, DL Hughley. And we are firm believers on what is right and what is wrong. Yes. So we got to start off by saying there was an inaccuracy as it regards Monique saying that there was a cease and desist that was given to DL to shut it down. Mm-hmm. What had taken place, to be accurate, was after Monique spoke to Brother DL on that conversation, Brother DL said, what?
Well, after we spoke on that conversation, when we hung up that phone, the last thing he said was, "It is what it is." And I said, "DL, then we're going to have to get our attorney involved." That's the last thing me and DL Hughley said on that conversation.
And after having that conversation with Monique, we went and got.
So people are really not feeling, or were. I don't know how they feel about him now that she was on the podcast, but they didn't like dealing with her husband. They feel like he was the reason that she's been blackballed. What do you think of? Well, first of all, let's talk about the DL Hughley thing, and then what do you think about her husband being so much in the business as he is?
My whole thing is, right, it's not. There's certain things that I think you don't do, especially after an issue has been quote unquote resolved. Because DL saying was, "Oh, he talked about my daughter and da da da." Yeah, but she already apologized for that, and that was already, a done deal, right? When you start coming for people, and I tell people this all the time, and for me, it's kind of a thing where, when you start fat shaming somebody, and you're a tiny little man. Like, I mean, I think your daughter's the same height as DL.
Is he that little?
He's a short guy. Yeah.
Oh, they're all little. That was a disappointing thing. As I'm meeting all these celebrities, I'm like, all my favorites say like 5'4.5".
Yeah, Ving Rhames is short too. It's a lot of short people, but Ving Rhames is a nice
Cube,
guy.
I'm like, yo.
Cube is the nicest. I held Ice Cube hostage, but that's a story for another day.
What?
I held Ice Cube hostage once. That's a story for another day.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, and anyhow, the thing with what DL said, like, it loses credibility. My whole thing is attack what was said.
Right.
But attacking somebody based on their weight is as ridiculous as attacking somebody based on their height. Like, especially, like, we know what Monique used to look like versus what she looks like now.
Right.
So now you're shitting on her for exercising?
Right.
Bro, like, how does that even make sense? Then the other part of that is, you got an MOU, she got a contract. Her husband's not the issue.
So can you please explain to the people who don't know business that well the difference between an MOU and a contract?
A contract is a contract. It's ironclad. It is what it is. An MOU is like, okay, we're saying this, we're putting this there. It's kind of along the lines of like a a run of a show, or this is what's in there, you know, you're saying you're a co-headliner. It's almost like an addendum, but it's not as ironclad. And if something were to go down, right? If the contract is the contract, and the contract is the contract, and nothing voids that unless every party agrees to. And I don't think Monique agreed to any changes being done when it came to the headlining. But my whole thing is, can Negroes get over who is headlining? Everybody got to be the star of the show.
Yeah, I want to be last. I want to be the headline.
I don't care where you put me on the stage.
Yeah,
I'm going to wreck it.
Yeah, go out and kill it.
You know, that to me is just insane. The other part
that's ego. That's really ego.
And why? Like, you were so quick to respond.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very quick. It hadn't even been out an hour, and he put that. He
wrote this and then, like, I've had a couple run-ins with that group of individuals, and my whole thing is they did an entire show segment about me, lasted about an hour and a half, and never mentioned my name. Well, they mentioned it when they taped the segment, but then conveniently edited it out. And I'm like, well, that's cool. It's a good thing I don't need your clout.
They said Bernie was the only real one. What you think?
Bernie was the only real one.
Yeah.
Like, keep in mind, I was in stand-up for a long time. And, you know, I used to work at the original Laugh House prior to Kevin Hart, Plastic Cup Boys, Michael Blackson, all those cats. And so, you know, a lot of times when you're doing big tours, you also do small venues to work out kinks. And, the only real one was Bernie.
I've seen so many things where, you know, he was who he was, whether the cameras were on or not. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just from what I see, because I've never met the man, but I don't think he would be that step and fetcher that'd be like, we's black out here. Like, he wouldn't be that dude, in my opinion, just from what I've seen and how he operates. But just to go back, a MOU is a memorandum of understanding.
Right.
It is just an agreement. And they say clearly on the MOUs, this is not a contract. It says that on an MOU.
Right. It's as good as a tour writer. It don't mean it does not hold the same weight.
Yeah, it is not a contract.
That's like saying, to put it simply, a paramedic ain't a plastic surgeon.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so it's to me, like, you're grasping at straws, but you came out so quick against what she had to say. Like, you didn't even let the clicks get up.
I don't think he really realized, because him being a man, and, you know, I know, you know, he probably was in his feelings or whatever, but it felt, you know, kind of bitchy a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a man. And I like DL, you know, he's reposted some of my things. And so, but I just didn't like him as a man coming out and you know, and doing that. I don't think it was a good look.
My whole thing is, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Like, do that. But what does it, like, how does that, is it going to make you any more money?
No.
Is it going to change anything?
Right.
And the truth of the matter is, regardless of that, like, do you have any idea how many people in this business who are women have done me wrong, said things about me that are completely untrue, half true, bull crap, whatever the case may be? There's only so much of that I'm going to respond to. Number one, I'm too busy. Number two, it ain't stopping my money. And number three, I got a life. So listen, if a dog howls at the moon, what happens?
Nothing.
If the moon howls at the dog's famous, and I'm not in the business of making bitches famous. You ever heard the moon howl back at the dog?
Absolutely not.
But if the moon all of a sudden went, "Howl!" That's national news.
Right.
So
right.
You're giving credence to the thing that you're trying to downplay. The best way to downplay it, a wise man once said, nothing.
But a lot of people talk about the relationship she has with her husband, the fact that she calls him daddy, he calls her mama. In fact, you know, there was a clip that I posted on my page today, which, you know, people, you know, some people cringe, some people loved it, but
There's a lot of women talk about Sierra's prayer, but when a God sends a good man, they don't want them. Is that true?
I cannot speak for them. I can only speak for me. Because when the universe sent mine to me, baby.
You was ready.
When he sent that man to me, even this morning, I thank the universe for that man right there. Before I came on air with you, I was talking to him.
I know.
He said, Mama, you heard me talking.
I
He said,
did.
yeah. I said, hey, Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Because we've not been trained. We've not been conditioned to understand you. We've been trained to fight against you.
Right.
We've been trained to go against you. We've watched our mamas, our grandmamas, our aunties speak ill of a black man. So now when a black man comes and he good, you waiting for the bad because grandmama told you black men wasn't shit. Mama told you black one wasn't shit. Your auntie said black men ain't shit. So all you have in your mind is black men ain't shit. And so when you get that beautiful black man, he's now got to say to you, erase everything they taught you.
Right.
Because I'm here.
What you think about that?
Again, I don't give a damn. She could call him Captain Crunch.
That ain't none of your business. That ain't none of your business. It ain't none of my business either.
At all. Like,
it ain't none of our business.
It's
but
amazing.
what I love, Dave, is her reverence for her husband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
You know,
foreign to a lot of people.
Right.
Who don't understand what that looks like.
Yeah, and that's the thing that troubles my spirit is the fact that people don't they cringe at the fact that, you know, her energy shifts when she talks about her man. Like, I only hope to have a man that makes my energy shift in that way, where I can talk about him with such reverence and respect and love. Like, it's her face lights up, her energy changes. Like, she loves that man from the bottom of her heart to the depths of her soul.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes. See, here's the thing, right? And this is the gag. So for the past 6 decades, black people have been run under a very forced governmental funded matriarchy. Because the government kicked us out, got rid of the jobs, right, that we were skilled in, right? Because at this particular point, right after King died, we were the most skilled laborers on the face of the planet, and we were the most married group of individuals in America.
Right.
And so they said, you know what, we're going to ship all these jobs overseas and we'll give them nice tax incentives to do it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to send a CIA agent named Gloria Steinem. And we're going to tell her to tell you, hey, sister, I know you're black, but you're a woman first. And we need you to come out here and take them bras off your titties and burn them with us. Right? And you don't need them for nothing. You're strong and independent. Because you know what happens if you get a bunch of women in the workforce? Then guess what? The government gets double the taxes. It's a money game. Since we playing the money game, Steve, here's the money game. Then let's destabilize this, because it's going to lead to our eventual extinction. Let's destabilize this by flooding their neighborhoods that we forced them into, because we won't let them buy houses any place that could be nice, that has a nice school system. We're going to give them guns and drugs. And then we're going to tell the women that we're babyface. We'll pay your rent. We'll buy your clothes. We'll give you money too. Just don't have a man in the house. And so, if for the past 5 to 6 decades, you have been told that we ain't good for nothing but, you know, slanging that slab, then why would you respect us, right? And then we have the unmitigated gall and the psycho double thought of how black men ain't shit and ain't been shit for years, but then who's been raising them? Strong, independently. Do you see how jacked up the thought process is? So you cannot sit up here and talk about a man who is leading his household because it looks foreign to you, because you've forgotten what manhood is. Right. You think manhood is somebody telling you, you's a boss bitch, you's a bad bitch, I was gonna stay home and watch the kids. You go all the way to Jamaica and let somebody rub that nasty ass soap on that barge all over your body, you know, while, you know, Umbutu Satan Jock, you know what I mean, slabs you down and then sends you back on Air Jamaica one way back to Saskatchewan. Yeah, like, nah. Absolutely not. So, yeah, no, I'm not trying to hear that. It's a marriage. Marriage is give and take, right? My wife does not do what I do.
Right.
I do not do what my wife does. Listen, let my wife leave me with these kids. When she get home, baby, what you need? You hungry? You want something? You want steak? What you want? Because let me tell you, I'm a great father. But I'm not the nurturer. That's not my
That's right.
role. I am the provider. I am not the homemaker, nor do I pretend to be. My wife has never ever said I'm the business bully. We don't do the we the president shit.
Yeah.
Right? Michelle Obama was never the president. Okay?
Right.
Like, we have to understand that there is power in gender roles, and the only people who have a problem with that is the people who have been stripped of gender roles for the past half century and some change. So yeah, of course you got a problem with Monique. Why
So
wouldn't you?
but what can we do as Black people? Because you're absolutely right when you talk about redlining, and we were subject to be in certain neighborhoods, and then when we went to those neighborhoods, when we were in those neighborhoods, then you have what's called urban decay, which is, by the way, is what's happening in Oakland right now. Right,
Yes.
Oakland is, I'm from the Bay,
Yeah.
and Oakland is the wild wild west. They have closed about every restaurant is closed. They didn't close In-N-Out. They've never closed an In-N-Out in anywhere in the 57-year history of In-N-Out. In-N-Out is now closed. Denny's, the one on, I think the last, or maybe they got one Denny's left on Hagenberger. That one just closed. Like every single Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks then left. Like the jobs is gone. People go to the employees at Kaiser's is getting stuck up. They're sticking up because they have taken the money out of the economies. They have created this impoverished society. And what happened is, years ago in San Francisco, how they brought these companies there is they brought these Googles and all of these companies into the Silicon Valley in San Francisco mostly. And they said, yo, come over here. You ain't got to pay no taxes. And they essentially came, house prices went up. People went over to Oakland. They gentrified it. Oakland just became, now it's desolate. It's the wild, wild west. And it's just a land of outlaws. And it's unfortunate. But this is all by design, right? Sure. Let's drop the values. Let's get the people out of there, and let's restore it back to its old glory before the big migration that happened over there. This has been going on for centuries in urban communities. This Absolutely. Is just a sheet from the playbook, Absolutely. I believe. But what can we do to kind of take things back? Because when you don't have power, the mayor's not doing anything. How do we restore our communities? How do we restore our families? Like, what's the answer for us?
Okay, so a few things. Number one, you're not going to stop America from Americaing. Like, let's be clear on that. Like, we try to fight battles, we'll never win. That's not what we do, right? Harlem Nights. Me and my stepfather went and saw Harlem Nights back in 88, 89, whenever it came out. My favorite part of Harlem Nights was when Eddie Murphy turns to Richard Pryor and says, wait, we gonna run? And Richard Pryor says, well, we gotta run. But before we run, we're gonna kick them in the nuts. We're so busy. We need to go ahead and we need to buy back the block. No. Right? Even as business people, we do this thing where we need to get retail sales. Like, I just want to sit down with Master P right now, and I'm gonna tell you why. What he's doing is wrong.
Suing Walmart?
Absolutely. He's 100% right in what he's doing, but it's completely wrong. I just went on Brodus Foods' website. You know the problem with Brodus Foods? You got to make things easy for people. When you give your power...
My bad. Wrong
it's all
person.
good. It's trying to block me out too. See, then it got to you. No, when you give your power to an organization to distribute your products, they can shelve your stuff. It don't matter that you're a cultural icon partnered with yet another cultural icon. They will put your stuff in the back and forget it exists. And then even if they put it out, they're going to make it more expensive than Mucilix. So what I would do is I would revamp the Brodus Foods website. And I would set up a thing where it's a subscription model so that you can get Snoop Loops and Cinnamon Toasties or whatever the hell type of cereal they're selling. And that way it goes directly to the people at a price where they can afford it. And they have a lot less artificial colors and sugars than regular cereal, right? That's what I would do. You don't need them in an era where an 8-year-old Asian kid is making $30 million a year reviewing toys he does not own, manufacture, or distribute. And when you're famous and you've got an audience, you really, what the do you need Walmart for? Anywhere you go is Walmart. You
Right.
think I'm lying? I submit to you one Keith Lee, and I ain't talking about the pro wrestler. I'm talking about the former UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Who's running around here doing food reviews like the evil man in Ratatouille, and all of a sudden everybody shows up and shows out. If more of us was doing that,
Yeah.
we wouldn't need them. I got so many clients say, "Oh, I just want shelf space." You know, you got to buy that, right?
Right.
No. We don't need shelf space until you dominate the internet. Have you dominated the internet? Have you done everything you possibly can in order to make that happen? That's what we need to do. The second thing is,
well, let me go
Stop.
there. Let me
Yeah.
stay right there
Yeah.
real quick because I think
Sure.
that's really brilliant. Especially with Master P and Snoop Dogg's influence that they have. Whatever they do, it's gonna be successful. So if they took their product off the shelves of Walmart and they sold it at if they became an Amazon of cereal,
Yes.
you know how many people would follow? They could actually put Walmart out of business because
Immediately.
other people will follow suit and start doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand that the power that they have. They have
Absolutely.
so much power.
And they don't get that because here's the thing. When my oldest, who is now 24 going on 25 years old, and it's very important as a father to
My
daughters.
oldest is going on 25 as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. Shout out to her going to the wrong issue, but I love your daughter. She's a very sweet girl. The problem when I would take her out is I would show her things, but I can't shut off the part of me that has a business mind, right? And the one thing you can't fight, Constance, as brilliant as you are, as smart as you are, as strong as you are, the one thing you can't fight is conditioning, right? And I'll prove it to you in this. My 24-year-old was 15 and we were going to the movies. I don't know if we were seeing Green Lantern. I know it was probably Green Lantern. And I said, look at this. And she said, what, Dad? I said, look how many people are standing in line for this movie. She was like, yeah. I said, I don't do lines. She said, yeah. I said, I got the same phone they got. Yeah. Why are they standing in line still waiting for their tickets? I don't know. Conditioning. By the time they get to the movies, we're going to be sitting here having hot mozzarella sticks.
Yeah. Popcorn,
popcorn, the whole nine.
Y'all chilling, feet kicked up.
Feet kicked up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So if people have been conditioned to do one thing for so long, when an innovator comes along, it takes people at least 10 to 15 years to adapt. If you think I'm lying, go back to 2003. When Prince said, you know what, I'm going to sing these damn songs, Little Red Corvette, Let's Go Crazy, Purple Rain, all that one last time. But if you come to my show, and I'm going to give you a show, I'm going to bring George Clinton, I'm going to bring Maceo Parker, the whole nine, it's going to be a show. But when you come to the show, you're going to get a copy of my brand new album. Because I'm off the old stuff, but I'm going to sing it for you to get your ass out. And Prince went platinum just doing a world tour. And the second that happened, they changed the rules on him. Prince invented iTunes. You think I'm lying? He was the first person to sell music direct to consumer, online, without interference of anybody else. And the record labels couldn't believe it. They didn't know what to do with him.
Bypass the middleman.
Bypass the middleman. If we have us, we don't need them. Master P took a company, right? I've done shoe deals with Alive Shoes, which is who he does his manyatis through. And he charges $500 for a pair of shoes that cost him $30.
Wow.
It's what you can do when you have control of your audience, control of your marketing and your messaging. You do not need big box retailers. If you think I'm lying, there's a place, I want you to look it up. It's called the Neshaminy Mall. Neshaminy Mall is a stone's throw from where I live in my native Philadelphia. The Neshaminy Mall has a bunch of stuff around it, but the mall in and of itself looks like the set of The Walking Dead season 4. It is empty.
It's like Eastmont Mall in Oakland.
Listen. Ooh. So there's a reason, because retail is dying, but we're so conditioned that we've not made it. We can't show off for everybody who told us I was crazy. We can't do How You Like Me Now if I don't have a store in the mall.
Right. Why?
And
that's what people don't understand, Dave, with the power. And this is also, so I did a TED Talk. My TED Talk was called Google That Shit. And I talked about, the article in Forbes magazine that said in the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a 0. And you know how it's widening, right? They say it's widening. I don't believe that that's going to happen because they done fucked around and gave us the internet. When they fucked around and gave us the internet, they leveled the playing field. the gatekeepers, the so-called gatekeepers that were there that prevented Black people from being able to do certain things, they are no longer there as they were in the past. And now it gave us access to do so much. So now, just like you said, there's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse.
None.
You got more power in the palm of your hands than they had when they put the man on the moon.
Yes.
At
literally.
your fingertips. More technology here than they had back in 1968.
Yep. Of course.
You can do whatever you want to do. So there's nothing.
No.
All you gotta do is have a little thought and be a little innovation.
But here's the thing. The beauty of this, right? What you know one of the main reasons Black people are broke? Not that I'm putting on my Boyce Watkins hat here. But one of the main reasons Black people are broke is this addiction to education.
Okay, talk
because you're trying to make mama proud. Mama's gonna die. Like,
not too soon.
Not too soon. Long life to mama.
Yes.
Keep her off the sugar and the high cholesterol foods, but long life to mama. But
she gonna be on the diabetes meds. That's okay. She gonna do a little insulin. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because Master Joe lowered the prices of the diabetes meds, even though he's been getting more kickbacks than any other president in history.
Yes.
From the pharmaceutical
Dialysis
companies.
a couple of days a week. We're gonna be all right.
But here's the thing. If you were to take half the money you put in tuition and put it behind a business that actually excites your child, because everybody ain't made to be a business person. We used to understand that. We used to respect people who had trades. We don't do that anymore. We used to respect somebody that would get it out the mud. My dad bought a corner store in the hood on a cop's salary. So I was behind a cash register when I was 7 years old. And everybody told him he was crazy. Now everybody wished they could buy a corner store in the hood. You see what I'm saying? So we've got to start celebrating trades. We've got to start celebrating entrepreneurship. And we got to get off the drug of this piece of parchment that you can get for $1.55 from Office Depot Office Max that says that you're skilled. Doesn't really matter unless you're doctor, lawyer, engineer, so on and so forth.
That's right. That's right.
Because 73% of the people who graduate from college are not working in the thing that they majored in. And that's according to the U.S. Census and the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. So argue with the government about the facts. But here's the thing. Do you know why colleges keep getting more expensive? And I'm a college professor, so please don't come at me with, oh, you anti-education because you can't do it. I got more degrees than a thermometer. I don't even know where all my degrees are. Here's why. The reason college gets more expensive is because you can take a 16, 17-year-old kid and you can have them get all this debilitating student loan debt. When you and I were of college age, you could get your student loans and then you could get a little bit more off of that student loan and live off of the extra. Now they put tuition right up the edge of whatever the max is, and they keep increasing the max of the tuition based upon the max that you can get for student loans. So it's not about educating you. It's about
absolutely not.
It's about crippling you. And
yeah,
then
it's absolutely a scam. When all four of my children will go to college, I'm very clear about that. I got a PhD. Right. I got a PhD, a public high school diploma. But all of my kids will go to college. Okay, best believe that.
I'm out.
But I'm very I'm very clear on why I send my children to college. And they were very clear when they went. They knew it wasn't about the educational aspect because they chat GPT and everything. My daughter said she learned how to finesse in college. She ain't learned shit. She learned more from working for me in marketing than she learned the 4 years at Hampton University. I'm just going to keep it real. I sent them to college is so that they can get that experience of being around other people, so that they can network, so that they can build. That's the reason why I pay $120,000 out of my pocket to send them there, is for the opportunity to be around other people outside of me. So when you're very clear about that, when you know that, honestly, unless you're a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, an account, unless you're somebody like that with a specialized degree, if you are sending your children to college and you think it's for education or they're going to get something great out of it outside of the experience, they're not. I don't want to bust your bubble, but that's what it is. So if you have the means to send your children to college, and knowing this is what you're sending them to college for, then by all means do it. Do it with both of your eyes open. Because if I didn't think that they were going to at least get some kind of, networking opportunities and it was going to build their character and bring them out of their shell, I would have kept them here. But I know keeping them here ain't going to do nothing for them.
Yeah, no. College was great for me. Listen, I learned how to promote parties in college. I learned how to, because keep in mind, I was a child performer. So like being around my peers longer than just being in school wasn't happening. Like I I was off, here, there, doing interviews, all that kind of good stuff. So I learned for the first time to relate to my peers because I was busy relating to adults.
Right.
In
Absolutely.
college, right? I learned that you can build really strong bonds and relationships, right? And that the best thing you can do is stop trying to fix everything that's wrong with you. Find somebody and find the somebodies who for you, their rights are your wrongs. Right? I'm not organized in my business. I got organizers in my business.
Right.
I'm a visionary. I'm Walt Disney. I ain't trying to be Roy.
That part.
That's what it is. You learn those things about you. You learn how to manage yourself. You learn how to balance a checkbook. There's a lot of life lessons in college, but let's not pretend that the degree is going to be that thing. Because I'm going to be honest with you. This destroyed the degrees. The only reason it's keeping them going is because the government is making so much money by printing so much money by keeping you in debt. But black people specifically have a horrible debt to income ratio.
We do. Devin said, what is your degree in?
Which one? Broadcasting, telecommunications, mass media, jazz vocal performance, English. I have a master's in business administration. I have a master's in divinity, and I have a doctorate in theology.
Goodness gracious. You still paying for student loans?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Not mine anyway.
Right. No, that's a lot. That's a lot. This lady said, yeah, she got 5 degrees. She owned a wig shop. So
listen.
I'm not mad at you, sweetie. I love it.
Smartest thing you can do.
Yeah, seriously. But one of the things that you said in terms of, this right here, this right here, this is everything that you need. If you can't afford to send your children to college, or if you can't afford to go to college, start a business. What are some key things that you would say, Dave, that people need? Give me 5 things that people need in order to start a business.
Well, the first thing is, oh gosh, I ain't gonna like this because this is the part that's not sexy that you can't just you can't pose on the gram for this one.
Really quick, Devin, I told you I got a PhD, player.
Hating degree. No, public high school diploma.
All right.
No, the first thing is you're going to need the paperwork. You gotta start making sure that you protect yourself at all times. This is boxing, right?
What kind of paperwork?
Oh, so the first thing that I would recommend is you're going to want to get your business. You want to get your business license, right? You're going to need to. Again, I hate it now because all these people are talking about. I got an LLC. LLC ain't right for everybody, right?
Not if you ain't making no money. Now you pay these fees. Everybody got an LLC because the gurus. Don't get started about the goddamn gurus, David. The gurus.
Now, if you get up in the morning, the first thing you're going to do is start an LLC. No. The first thing you are going to want to do, though, is start and incorporate your business. Get that stuff and make sure your business name is protected. Make sure you got trademarks. You want to make sure you get all of those things. You want to start creating a business plan, not so that you can go beg the bank for money because they'll deny you and then give your business plan to somebody else who does not look like you. And then you wonder why your idea just showed up on TV. Ooh. No. You want to make sure that you get yourself a business banking account, right? You want to start getting social media. Well, I'm not good at social media and it's for the kid. Nobody asked you, numbnuts. She asked me what's going to work for you, right? Wherever your audience is, that's where you show up, right? Malcolm X used to preach on a soapbox out front of people's churches and start talking about, what the Nation of Islam was doing, right? This right here, this right here, this the new soapbox. I call it the freedom box. Because if I want to make money, I turn this thing on. It's boom, money's coming. That's what we need to do. You need to make sure that you are communicating it and that you own your audience. Back in the day, a couple of years ago, the Shade Room, very popular blog, had 4 million followers on their Facebook page. Zucks went one day, snapped them all out of existence like Thanos. Not half of them, all of them.
Oh, damn.
Could you imagine what I could do with a 4 million person email list?
Wow.
So you need to get those people on social media, off of social media. You also need to make sure, I don't give a what your business is. You need a YouTube channel because YouTube is the second largest search engine on the face of the planet. And if people are searching for wig shops or business coaches or whatever else, you want to be where they are, right? Then, on top of that, you want to make sure that your business actually can deliver on what its promise is. And you need to be real clear on that. You don't need to be sitting up here talking about, oh, I can do this in 60 days, and you can't. And you also need to stop making sure that everybody is your ideal client. Everybody ain't your ideal client. You can't serve everybody. McDonald's don't serve everybody. You think I'm lying? Try to give a Big Mac to a vegan, numbnuts, and get back to me. So be clear on
you
who
serve everybody, you serve nobody.
Right. So there are people who are like, yo, I love this guy, and there are people in here like, I don't like this guy. I don't like
Right.
him. And that's cool because I want to attract people, but I want to repel the wrong people.
Right.
Because I don't want you.
Not for everybody.
I want the people who want me. And I'm not your first business coach. I'm usually your last one because I'm the one that, now that you done got your ass whipped and you done got yourself, gurued by the dude who's cosplaying like he's Elijah Muhammad, or the other dude in the silk pajamas, or, the girl, who looks like a beach whale in the islands talking about, we're gonna build your business together, and the weekend the only business she building is her business bank account on your money.
That part.
When you're done with all of the gurus, I should be your boyfriend, 'cause they lying. So when you ready to come on over to death row, I'll be here. But some of y'all got to get scuffed up first because y'all like shiny suits and dancing in the videos.
Ooh! How important, though, is because a lot of people will start their businesses, so a lot of people want to start businesses. They don't know how to start businesses. They don't know where to start. They don't know where to go. How important is it to have a business coach? Because you are a business coach.
Yes. Kobe Bryant thought Phil Jackson was doing too much when he was with the Lakers.
How many rings Phil Jackson got?
10.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Kobe thought he was doing too much, so he went to legend has it. God rest Kobe. That's my man. Legend has it, Kobe went to the Lakers front office, and whether he did or he didn't, Phil Jackson was out of there, and Kobe did not win a championship without him. And he had to swallow his pride and say, you know what? We need to get Phil Jackson back. Let's take Kobe off the table for a minute. Back in the day, the Chicago Bulls had a dynamite team, including a very young, spry, not bald Michael Jordan. And the entire plan, according to Bulls coach Doug Collins, was just get a ball to Mike. So everybody got hit. Oh, they're going to get a ball to Mike. We just going to triple team Mike. We don't need to worry about the other four guys. We're just going to triple team Mike. And the Bulls absolutely sucked. Then they brought in Phil Jackson. See, the problem is y'all are watching a bunch of people who call themselves coaches because you don't realize that poodle skirt makes them a cheerleader. Now, let me break that down if you just give me 2 seconds of latitude on this. See, a cheerleader, just like the coach, is on the sideline. Cheerleader is yelling things at the players about how they can do it and what they can do and how they should win at all costs, right? The difference is one of them actually has the skill to understand how the game is played. The other one is just chanting stuff like be aggressive, be aggressive. So there's a bunch of cheerleaders disguised as coaches that have gotten you fooled because they're saying nice little stuff to you and they got cute little raps, but they ain't never won no rings. They ain't never been in no big games. They don't understand what it is to be a champion, let alone build one. They don't understand strength and conditioning. They don't understand trials and tribulations. They don't understand skanks getting banged on the road. They have absolutely no clue how to do anything but talk about, what's happening and you can do it. Do it. Do it. I'm not no cheerleader. I'm a coach. And by the way, how many... Phil Jackson got 10 rings, right? How many points did Phil Jackson score in his career? Because the coach ain't playing the game. The coach is controlling the game. So you got to understand that. If you want me to be a fractional CEO in your business, I can do that. I'm happy to be the fractional CEO of your business. It's just going to cost you $30,000 a month.
That part. And so, most successful people have coaches. Mm-hmm. Oprah has a coach. Mm-hmm. TD Jakes has a coach, and he talks about the importance of a coach. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan had a coach.
Yes.
Kobe Bryant had coaches. Mm-hmm. So it's important. People are not winning on that level unless they have somebody to help them. And so oftentimes people think about, I want to start a business. I don't know how to kind of navigate through what are the best practices? What should I be doing? And a lot of times what coaches can do is they can see things that you can't see.
Correct.
And they can help you to implement things that you can't implement. I'm not the big ideation person. I don't have the big idea. So I need coaches to help me to kind of navigate.
Right.
But I can't do that for myself, but I'm also able to do that for other people and help them because I can see their vision, or I can see the other side of what they're doing better than they can, just like my coach can do the same thing for me.
Correct.
And so that's why it's important. So when people try to, become successful in business, having a coach is essential. So what kind of things are you doing for like those entry level people who are just starting off?
Well, we have an entry level program for those people that includes a digital university, and it's hours and hours and hours.
I saw that.
Yeah, no, it's like $100 a month.
Yeah.
It's hours and hours and hours of lessons. I come in live. My team comes in live. Like the one thing that I've learned, like I'm Iron Man in this, meaning that I don't make the same mistake twice, and if I see a hole, I'll fix it. We would send people off with a plan, right? And they would come back, and because they had fivered themselves to death, the F word I really don't like. Then
Fiverr and ChatGPT.
Fiverr, ChatGPT, and Upwork are the bane of my existence, and so that's why I have, team of graphic designers, team of video editors, team of web designers, team of funnel builders, so that you don't have to worry about all that good stuff. What you need is to be able to come in, ask your questions from me and my team, get the information, and then use the information, because a lot of us are information addicts because we like to say things like, well, that coach didn't work out, and because I'm not Scrooge McDuck with a money bin, so I was going to go to the next coach. No. All coaching works if you're actually following instructions. If you're not following instructions, ain't nothing going to work, right? Nothing works until you do. And I think that the main thing is understanding that what you think is a good idea might need some tweaking. It just does.
What do you think about people who say, I'll just get my information on YouTube? I don't need to pay nobody.
Yeah, you can do that. I'll see you in 12 years. That's fine. Take your time, boo-boo cakes. Here's the thing. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but I'm very direct and I have nothing to lose. I can make a phone call and change your life. I can make a phone call. Because I've built decade upon decade upon decade in relationships trying to get to where you need to be. For example, I have a client who's really big into sports, right? And he was like, yeah, I'm having some trouble with the NFL. I said, okay, cool. My mentor is a guy named Bob Bodine. Now, you might not know Bob Bodine, but he's like a 3-4-time New York Times bestselling author, phenomenal guy, right? Billionaire. And are you into football at all? Okay. The head of the NFL is a commissioner named Roger Goodell. Bob put Roger Goodell there.
Oh, wow.
I could make a phone call. So, YouTube that.
So coaches also have connections.
That's it. Coaches have connections, and coaches have what you don't, which is the breadth of experience. So it's funny. So one of the things that I do is my contribution to closing the wealth gap is through my Net 7 collective. Right.
And I help Black women from all over the country. And it's so fun. Let me just show, because so what I do is I do these strategy sessions at the end of the 12 weeks. And so today I did a strategy session with one of the young ladies, and look at one of the things.
I've learned how to purchase land. I've learned how to do overages in real estate. And I even learned some different things with credit, that I've gotten my credit linked up with my bankruptcy, that I'm almost in my home stretch, doing everything right now and applying it to take my life to the next level. So what it was like being in a group of all women was great, because it wasn't a competition, and we all uplifted everyone and learned a lot from each other, and we're still learning a lot from each other. Being a part of this group in the next few years, I see myself as being an entrepreneur, owning my own hotel that I can take my kids and my grandkids to see. This is what it is like to be a woman, also a Black woman, having something established inside a community. Being in a cohort, my experience made me feel validated, informed, and like I can do anything.
So the cool thing about that is I have women from all over the country, from every socioeconomic status, from 25 years old to 80 years old, from, just starting out entrepreneurs to Harvard PhDs. Even Dr. Frazier's sister, Emma Fraser, was in our last cohort, and I was one of her coaches, and she said it was the best experience of her life. And, she's a coach.
Right.
And so it's for me, it's one of the, it's such an amazing blessing. And what I've essentially done is I've taken my experience in building my business. I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California, and I've used that same framework in this cohort. But it's funny because I spoke with you a few months ago, and I told you what I was charging. I'm not gonna say what I charge because I don't tell the general public until they talk to me.
Right.
And you said I was not charging enough.
Yeah, way too cheap.
Yeah. And I was like, but, and you was hitting me upside the head. You was like, bah, bah, bah.
First of all, he was
hitting me upside the head, y'all. He was abusing me.
That's not. I did not, because that's how things. He said they beat her ass. Like, no, the thing of it is, right? We're so here's the real weird irony about our people, right? People ain't got no problem buying a Birkin. People ain't got no problem buying red bottoms, right? People got no problem paying tuition or, moving to a certain neighborhood. But when it comes to the things that they need, Black people, not saying that Black people are the only ones, but I've been Black, for 5 decades now. Black people tend to beg for what they need and pay for what they want. And I'll be damned. Especially when I seen what you got. See, the reason that I don't mind spending time talking to you and your audience is you can point to clients and say, I've helped them accomplish this, right?
All day.
That's the thing. Like, you can't go to a major metropolitan city and not run into at least one, or I can't point to at least one client that I've had that hasn't hit multiple 6 figures, if not 7 or beyond.
Right.
That's the difference. These gurus, these cosplaying coaches, these cheerleaders that y'all love so much because they on each other's little shows and they got the little bobbity bop circles. Name their clients.
Right.
Who do they work with?
And they paying $50,000 to be on these platforms.
Wait, look, you don't stop right there. I got a call from somebody who shall remain nameless. And he was like, yo, man, you showing up everywhere. I said, yeah, man. He said, wow. So how much are you paying to get on podcasts? I said, I'm sorry, what?
Right.
I was confused.
Yeah, they paying.
No. I wasn't confused that they were paying. I was confused because I thought I woke up in somebody else's body. Because I looked, I was like, no, I'm still Dave Anderson. I said, bro, I'm Dave Anderson. I've never paid for a podcast. Now,
all your favorite gurus are.
Yeah. I had one hit me in my DM, was like, yeah, it'll be $6,000. Why don't you come out to Vegas? It'll be $6,000. I said, $6,000 for what?
You paying me $6,000?
I said, no. I know y'all are used to this. See, I'm in actual Forbes, not Forbes India because I paid 10 bands. Like, who the fuck is reading Forbes India over here? Like,
Forbes India?
Forbes India, job. Or when they pay for the press releases so they can wind up in Yahoo Finance and all. And I'm in Yahoo Finance for real. For real. Right. I'm one of the few entrepreneurs under the age of 50 that has been in Entrepreneur Magazine and Forbes Magazine in the same calendar month. Like, y'all play with it because y'all like flashy. I'm not the flashy guy.
But listen, Dave.
Yes, ma'am.
Flashy is the quick way to get rich because those guys are doing the flashy, and Black people love flashy.
Yes.
I was told, for me, and this is what I refuse to do, I was told, well, you need to show off your cars, you need to show off your houses because, people want to see that, you doing all this stuff. And I said, but I'm just a regular chick. I've made some great investments. I got, I built great business. And they said, well, why would they talk to you if you're a regular chick? Well, because I got results.
No.
I got receipts.
No. See, they want you to mass market. They want you to broadcast. You're a narrowcaster. You're not here to get everybody. Right? Even the Bible. Jesus said very clearly, my sheep will hear my voice. Right. So if Jesus understood it, if we go with the belief that Jesus is the Son of God, God made flesh, he understood well enough to know that the creation that is humanity, everybody wasn't going to follow him. And he ain't want everybody to follow him because he already knew it was a waste of time. That's why he said, don't cast your pearls before swine. That's right. So what they want you to do is show off all your stuff so that Pookie can find time to rob the house that you're not at.
But see, the issue is Black people are attracted to the bling.
Yeah, that's groupie stuff. Guess what?
But and it works.
It does. And I want it to continue to work because you know what happens? When you're done, again, When you had enough of all these gurus taking all your money,
Right.
promising you the world, dancing in the videos, sitting down with Steve Harvey, come to death row. I need them to continue to do this because they can't do it. Pat Boone
It's
may
not
have sold more
sustainable.
records, but he ain't Lil Richard.
But it's not sustainable, right?
No.
So it's get rich now, but it's not. And this is what I teach the women. Wealth is a holistic experience. I could teach you how to get the money, absolutely. But
Sure.
if you lose it, you ain't gonna know how to make it again.
That's it.
So I need to teach you how to grow the wealth in a holistic way, so that you can not only get it, but you can keep it. And if you lose it, you can get it again.
That's it.
Right. And so that's the issue, is that all of that, what they're teaching and what they're selling, is not sustainable. It's very right now.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate thing for a lot of us, is we just want to, we see the flash and we want that quickly. And that's not how it works. It's not a get rich quick.
What do you call it when you're at a vineyard and you smash some grapes and you put them in a bottle and you cork it? What do you call the stuff in the bottle?
Wine.
No, you don't. It's grape juice. Wine takes time.
Oh, yeah.
There's a fermentation process. And
That's
you can't
right.
rush that.
That's right.
Warren Buffett said, you can't have a baby in a month by sleeping with 9 different women.
It's not gonna happen.
You gotta give time. I am the most, listen, anybody who knows and loves me will say I'm the most impatient person because I want it now. I want my flowers. I want my respect. I do. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not the clout that I want. I don't give a rat's ass about clout. Got plenty of that.
Right.
But I want you to recognize what I've done and what I'm doing. And guess what? I've got myself to a point where I realize that you probably won't until I'm dead. And I'm good with that. You want to know why? Because the generations of individuals who have benefited from what I've been able to do with my companies and what I've been able to do with my clients are more important than that need for me to be like, see, y'all kept following that, because what I've realized is you and I are vegetables. They want junk food. And after a while, whether you like it or not, that jawbreaker's going to rot your teeth.
Yeah, and your stomach gonna start hurting. It don't last.
And you still going to be hungry.
Yeah, and you still gonna be hungry with a tummy ache.
That's it.
So Dave, what are you working on now?
I am writing a couple of new books.
What are they about?
Well, my latest book is Sell It Like Jesus, Principles and Strategies.
I saw that on your website.
Yeah.
What's that about?
So people kept telling me how disgusting sales is and sales can't be ethical and this, that, and the third. And I said, well, that's funny, because every Sunday, $33 million comes from the black church in tithes and offerings.
$33 million
per Sunday. Do the math.
Sunday. Sheesh.
Right? So there has to be something in a message that's over 2,000 years old that's worth that. That's just the black church. It's not counting Catholics or Lutherans or anybody. I'm talking just the black church, right? The other part of that is there is a way to convince people of what you can show them. And Jesus did that very well. Pick up your bed and walk. By your stripes, I am healed. Lazarus, come out. There's something to be said for showing people what it actually looks like. I ain't got to do a whole lot of talking. Jesus' first miracle was turning water into wine at a wedding at the behest of his mother. He could have just phoned it in and got some gas station wine for him. He pulled out the top shelf. Like, he did a miracle and then did the miracle of miracles while doing it. You spit bars for hours to 5,000 people, and your team is like, yo, ain't nobody bring no food. Oh, look at that little boy right there at the end of the at the edge of the water. Go grab his food. And he begins to break it. And they had overflow. So if you can teach somebody what you can do with your hands after giving them a good message, you can sell. You have children. I imagine that when you conceive those children, you conceive those children in love. So the idea of selling isn't foreign to Constance Carter. If you've ever had consensual sex, you have sold. If you've ever convinced somebody, like I'm a black son, right? And as a black child, I know you got the same talk where your mama look over the back of the seat and go, now we going in this store.
Don't ask for nothing.
Don't ask for nothing. Don't touch nothing.
Don't touch nothing. Yep.
I still walked out with a yo-yo. I know how to sell. That's the thing. We have something about us that's in there. And so my brother had died at the end of 2022.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And it was sudden, it wasn't expected, and it was the worst pain I'd ever had. And so I started outlining this book about my relationship with my brother, because we don't really talk about brother bonds in that way. And I was driving home, and I parked my car right in front of my home. And this is going to sound weird, but stay with me. It's the truest story ever. It was drizzling, but it wasn't raining. Then all of a sudden, it was like a deluge, just pouring rain. And I literally heard God's voice in my head. He sounds like Samuel L. Jackson to me. I don't know why, but God sounds like Samuel L. Jackson.
He didn't say motherfucker, did he?
He did not.
Okay.
But he said, so like Jesus was good, but you got 2 more in you. And so my next book is called Jesus the Influencer, Principles and Strategies of the World's Greatest Viral Meme. And that's what it is. To be able to carry a message, to be able to take people and get them away from what they're used to and influence them in such a way that your message goes way beyond anything that you can come up with. The only people who have done that in modern times that way are the Kardashians.
Through sex.
Through sex and through convincing black women that they were somehow inferior while trying their best through a scalpel and tanning beds to look like black women.
Right. Lips, butts, shape,
racks, hips,
all of it.
All of it. So my whole thing is showing that you can have influence in a way that doesn't compromise your morals, right? And then I've decided that I am going to take 1,000 entrepreneurs to $1 million. Do you know what black people can do with $1 billion worth of buying power? Anything we want. Which is why Master P don't need to be in Walmart with Ben Mumble and Crump talking about, we's going to sue the Walmart.
But see, so when you take them to $1 million, educating them on collective economics, and all of those things are going to be important, and not just showing them how to get the bag, but to be able to work together so that we can build our communities. And that's the reason why I work with black women. There's an African proverb that says, if you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. And so, being able to not only just influence the one, but having it effectuate change throughout the entire communities. So that's the key. So I love what you're doing. Tell us about that webinar, the 2-minute webinar. I'm gonna take that.
So if you go to the Business Bully, www, gotta put the www there, otherwise it's gonna look like I ain't paying my website bill. I don't know, that's just the way it's set up. www.
Is it not secure?
No, it's very secure.
Okay.
I'm a tech guy. Don't play with me.
Oh, okay.
Pray with me, but don't play with me.
I got you.
www.thebusinessbully.com without paid ads. I'm going to not only give you a 2-minute webinar where I discuss what it looks like, what we do in our program, because a lot of times people won't take you behind the curtain until you get behind the paywall. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what we do in 2 minutes. Not only that, I have made a lot of money selling. I'm not going to lie to you. So I have something called my 7-figure sales script. It does not miss. If you suck at selling, this thing will turn you into a sales monster. No cap. I'm giving it away for free right now. And you don't get it. Nobody who has paid me less than 5 figures has ever seen the 7-figure sales script. I've never released it to the public, but I'm giving it to you now. If you go to www.thebusinessbully.com/without paid ads. It's a beast. It's a monster. And not only that, right? I am going to give you, if you book a call to talk with me and my team about growing your business, I'm going to give you a copy of Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat, the book that beat the art of the deal, the book that beat the 10x rule. That book, my book. I'm going to, nobody want to talk about that.
I didn't even know. Oh, and I heard you talking about your boy too.
Who?
He was myrtleizing him.
Who?
10x.
Oh, Grant Cardone? Listen. Why do people get mad when I report facts? The man said he wanted to say the N-word. The man said he's blacker than anybody. The man said that he wanted to just find some black people who can give him that stamp so he can walk around, because he needs to be able to have a black card so that he can say the N-word, because that's the one thing he can't say. He said that, I didn't. So at the end of the day, now that he has run all the white people, through the scans, when the white exposing people on YouTube start exposing you, you're just gonna go run the play with the black people. So you'll get with all of those guru types, who like
Yeah.
to do the guru things.
That's exactly what happened. And so
that's what he did.
now he's with the black gurus.
Right. And I still ain't heard him say the N-word, so I don't know if anybody cleared him yet. But, I'm sure it's coming. But that's the thing. Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat was the first sales book I wrote in order to teach you how to sell. If there's a sales style that resonates with you, it's in this book. I have given you every single sales story I've ever had. I used to work for Honeywell. Honeywell has home security systems. And I was so good at my job because I would get up in the morning, I would see who got shot, killed, robbed, murdered, raped. And I would go to that neighborhood and be like, yo, did you hear what happened up the street? You got a home security system? Oh, you got ADT. And I would come in with some bolt cutters like, yo, let me see your ADT system. And they show it to me and I cut it. Now you're done. And they're like, why would you do that? Well, that's what the robbers are going to do. That's what the burglar's going to do. That's what the killer's going to do. My system's wireless, and it's $39 a month right now. Sign here and here. I was selling so many Honeywell systems that ADT bought me out of my Honeywell contract and hired me.
Oh, wow. That's
so
crazy.
I have all of these different stories and all of these different techniques, pitches. If I was a hookup artist, this is the game book. This is how you spit game to close these deals. This book is that. So I'm going to give that to anybody who actually books a call to talk with me. Not my team. There's this link that I put here, Constance. This is where you talk to me. You don't talk to my sales team.
Oh.
So there's only a few of those spots. You talk to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this
Anything.
before we get off of here.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these podcasts because I want to just kind of bring it back to the Monique thing. There's all these podcasts that talk about what like men talking about what women need to do in order to get a man, and about women always talking about what men need to do, and the 50-50 and all this stuff. From your perspective as a black man,
mm-hmm.
that's married to a black woman, you are married to a black woman?
I know you did not just ask me that with a Caitlin? No, I'm married to a black woman. Black woman. Chocolate black woman, locks down her back, beautiful. I got beautiful chocolate tate black kids. They're gorgeous little girls. I feel like it's the most revolutionary thing I could ever do is procreate with a black woman. Damn right.
So how do you think? Because you have a successful marriage. How long you been married?
Oh gosh, I have known my wife for the better part of 30 years. We have been together. She won't go on 15.
15.
Yeah.
So how does a successful relationship look? And every relationship is different, right? But how do we come together? Because you hear all this, the battle of the sexes, and I'm tired of that shit. You hear the 50-50, don't ask a woman to do this, and women talking about this what you need, telling other women this what you need to do to please a man, and you're not a man. But as a man, how can we come together, and how can we build strong relationships for our communities, for our families? Because not only is the wealth needed, the family, intact family is needed so that we can protect our children, so that we can just have a great communities overall. We don't want to see Oakland happen all over the place. We want to see, I live in Bowie, Maryland. Right. Bowie, Maryland happens to be one of the top 4% in wealth in the entire country. And it is a black city, a black county, Prince George's County, top 4% black wealth all over the place. There could be more of this. But we also need strong black families. What can we do to get there?
Well, the first thing that you have to understand is this black gender war is completely manufactured by people who do not look like us.
Oh, okay. Talk about it.
Because if we are at each other's throats, then we're not coming together. And if it's, red pill this and high value man that, and I'm a strong independent woman this, and I don't need a man for shit, and I'm not going to submit, and I'm not going to, cool, do that then, right? There's so many different things that happen in order to keep us from being with each other. Let me break something down to you. Marriage is not Disney. It ain't. My wife will tell you there's days she don't like me, there's days I don't like her, but I love her every day. She loves me every day. I get on her nerves every day. Like, I'll do stuff like, I'll leave something out. She's like, oh, I thought that was mine. No, you didn't. No, you just wanted my cookie. It's cool. You can have my cookie. It pisses me off in a moment, but guess what? I can order another cookie. I can't get another her. Right? The thing of it is, I never, And I have done everything there is to do in this business. I have done everything there is to do on this internet. I never saw serious money until I put the brass ring on. Because, and this is a true story, Comcast was going to hire me for $100K and I needed that $100K real bad. We needed that $100K real bad. But the thing that kept happening was whenever I go to a job, well, you know what? Dave Anderson showed up. And Dave Anderson's creative and Dave Anderson has ideas. And my wife, you know, I was frustrated. And I was so frustrated that as a man, I sat in the bathroom and I turned on the water and I closed the door and I had a towel and I was crying my eyes out inside the towel because my family didn't need to hear me cry. Her ass to this day, I don't know how she knew. But she came in that bathroom and said, what was we crying about? I was like, got this gig. It's going to pay $100K. She's like, no, you're not taking it. I said, why? She said, because if you try it, here's what's going to happen. Number one, you're going to get in there and let's say you play it cool. Sooner or later, they're going to do something and you're going to find a way to fix it. And then they're going to tell you how great you are. Or they're going to tell you how great you are, take your idea, fire you. Or they're going to get you into a situation where they're going to promise you the moon, take your idea and fire you. Or somebody's going to Google you or you'll show up on somebody's show and then they're going to get jealous and they're going to make your life a living hell and you'll quit. Or they'll fire you. So why don't we reject that 100,000? Figure out how to make this entrepreneurship thing work. And that's what it is. Like, it's not just speaking to me because I'm a king. And no, it's understanding what I need. It's not always what I want. Because I wanted that 100K because it would have been easy and I'd have been the most closing machine I was. I was 561 pounds and I was one of the top salespeople at Nutrisystem. Let that sink in. Wow. So I would have closed and we would have been just fine. But she saw something in me and she knew that I, in my soul, had to be happy. When's the last time somebody spoke to your happiness like that? Yeah. Right? When's the last time somebody says, you know what? Yeah, that's cool, but like you could do something else. Or, you know, she wrote a book. And it's a phenomenal book. It's called I Love My Curls. It's all about natural hair and little girls who look like us having acceptance of who we are, right? This is before Hair Love came out. Like, this is, you know, a huge thing. And like we would prepare for press. And when I'm a press coach, listen, you can ask Obama. I'm not easy. But the truth of the matter is, you know, when it was time for her to get on that television, she killed it. And we beat the Disney Frozen 2 adaptation in children's books sold, right? Wow. So it's not always about what you like. It's not always about what you want to hear. It's what you need to hear and what needs to happen. But when I have good news, that's the first person I want to go to. Yeah. When I want to break down, because the rest of the world wants me to be the business bully. The rest of the world wants me to give them a motivational presentation. The rest of the world wants me to solve their problems in 30 seconds. Somebody famously asked me on an interview, where's my favorite place to vacation? I said, my couch. And he said, why? And I was like, because don't nobody want nothing from me on my couch. Right. I'm David at home. I'm daddy at home. That's it. I can be me. We need a safe space. If you want to have the safest space you could ever have, find somebody who loves you. And I'm going to tell you something. I know that my wife loves me. Number one, I met her when I was 17 years old. And I ain't had shit then. Number two, I know that she married 561-pound, titties down to here, you know, 72-inch waist, stunt double for Sherman Klump, nutty professor, gotta lift it up to find it, Dave Anderson. She married that.
Woman. She a good woman.
She's a great woman.
Yeah.
She's a great woman. And that's the thing, right? You would rather be strong and independent than be great. And that's the thing. She ain't subjugated. Her whole life she had to be hard. Her whole life she had to do. She ain't got to do that now. She only does what she chooses to do. And then there are conversations. One of the hardest conversations I think we ever had was when I was like, you know what? That job, they don't appreciate you. You're done. You're retired. We're off of this. I said, the girls need you. And I need you. And that job is chipping away at your light. Sometimes you got to have that conversation. Right. And that's the thing. most of us, right? Because there's a lot of dudes who wouldn't be like, well, I ain't just gonna have her sitting home. She ain't just sitting home. You want to know why? The school system's corrupt. If y'all so busy talking about the government ain't shit, why you letting the government raise your kids? Why you letting your government educate your kids? We homeschool our baby.
Oh,
you know
wow.
what that requires?
A lot.
Exactly.
Something that I couldn't do for sure.
You feel me?
I could if I had to, but it's not,
if you had to,
but
but that's the thing. So it's a partnership. Is it perfect? No, but it's perfect for us.
So the lesson is that it's not Disney.
It's
It's
not
not
Disney.
a fantasy. It's reality. It's hard days. It's, you can't paint anyone with a broad brush. Everything, because that's what people do. They try to make it a one size fits all type of situation. And it's never, you got to be that independent person for that independent person. And I think the one thing that you can say that everybody needs to do is just figure out how they can add value to the other person in whatever that means for them.
Right.
Because I was just talking to somebody yesterday. And he was talking about, he was mad at this girl he was dating or whatever. And because the way, she didn't come through for him or whatever. My thing was this. Everybody was raised different. Everybody has their own baggage, and maybe she didn't understand, what this meant to you. And so you gotta communicate, but you have to love a person where they are for what they want, not how you want to love them. You got to love them how they want to be loved. Right. And I think that's what people are missing is they want to love you how I want to love you how I want to love you.
Right. But
not really trying to understand how another person.
Here's two things. The first thing I want to say is it is Disney. It is. And I'm going to explain this. Disney tells 60% of the story and they cut it off at they lived happily ever after.
Right.
Now the other part of that is they don't tell you everything that comes in that happily ever after. The other part of that is y'all think you gonna marry. See, the person you marry ain't the person you married to. My wife married a really innovative radio personality / first social media director for a Fortune 500 company. She did not marry the business bully. The business bully did not exist. She ain't meet no business bully in 1995. She damn sure didn't marry a business bully in 2012. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Right.
So this me that can go in a Target and buy whatever he wants to off the shelf, this me that doesn't mind doing a push-up, different dude.
Right.
She was not, a homeschool mom with 2 kids, best-selling author, speaker coach. She wasn't that. It says, and they shall become one flesh. I'm getting to know that lady every single day. And she getting to know whatever crazy version that looks like what I used to look like keeps coming in the door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. You're getting to know somebody all over again, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And that takes adjustment. And you got to be willing to adjust to that. And we don't have that conversation because it's, oh, shit, she don't like me. Well, I'm out. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah, you can get divorced. Sure. By all means. If that's what you feel you need to do, cool. I'm not knocking you for it, hashi-tashi. But if you want something real, if you want something magical, magic requires sacrifice. That's why you got to go get a bunch of ingredients to cast a spell. You see what I'm saying? And then magic has to maintain. Right? The same way bathing doesn't last. That's why you recommend you do it often. You check in, you hug, you love, you talk. You have philosophical debates. Some of them are loud, But the one thing that I've always loved about this woman, the one thing that's always been consistent about her, is she is loyal. And the second thing is, if I get in a fight, she get in a fight.
I love that. She got your back.
Hard. She was 8 months pregnant. This guy, I was like dropping something off before I had to go to work because I was still doing the work. This is when I was Nutrisystem, and I was dropping something off, and the guy, white guy, didn't like the fact that I cut him off in my parking lot. So he got up in my face, and I was going to give him, what a kid from North Philly would give somebody like that. And Mark was like, Dave, if you don't take your ass in the car, I said, you know what? She's right. Cooler heads prevail. I get in the car. I put my key in the ignition. I adjust the rear view. My wife, belly out to here. She's like 5'3". Belly out to here. She was in his face. She was about to whoop his ass. I was like, how did she get from the house to this man's car? She was going to whoop this man. I don't know how to this day. how she got there. But that's the thing. Who's going to fight for you, with you, and against you when it's necessary?
Yeah.
If you find somebody like that, you hang on to them. Fuck what they talking about online.
Right.
Because they not in your marriage.
Right.
You got to be in your marriage. Your parents ain't in your marriage.
Right.
Your sisters, your brothers. You got to be so... It's us.
Yeah.
You know, even if it pisses your kids off, it's us. We got to come first.
Yeah. Yeah. I know when I was married
Mm-hmm.
a million years ago.
Congratulations.
Like two. I was married 132 years though. But I know people, yeah, it was a long time.
Black don't crack.
Hey, listen. But I remember when people used to be like, well, what does he do? And I used to be like, listen, you know, when I was married, don't worry about what we do up over here. We got this. But in actuality, nigga didn't do shit. So anyway, I'm going to let you go ahead and...
You did something.
Yeah. Anyway, listen.
That's what he do.
No, listen, this has been such a meaty and just a fluid and a full, deep, in-depth conversation. And we talked about so many things, but what I really got to do is I really got to really understand you on a deeper level. You know, we've spoken before, and you know, it's always a pleasure to talk to you because you have so much insight and you are just absolutely brilliant. Like, you are just so brilliant.
Checks
and
in
so
the mail.
I love to,
The check is in the mail. Thank you.
Listen, and I love to glean from brilliance, you know, and so it's just always good to talk to you. And so thank you for coming on here. So again, where can they find you on all different platforms?
Everything is at The Business Bully, just like it sounds, except for Twitter X. I don't know what Elon's calling it this week. That's DA as in Dave Anderson, Business Bully. But again, thebusinessbully.com/without paid ads. You get my 7-figure sales script, my 2-minute webinar, and if you book a call this week, you can get a copy of Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat. I want to just thank you for allowing me the platform.
Thank
you.
you
Thank you to everybody
with
involved with you, and you know, I'm just grateful to be able to, you know, come in here and share and whatnot. Now,
I appreciate you, man.
My throat is killing me.
Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, I'm gonna let you get and go take care of your babies and your wife, and thank your wife for me for letting you hang out with me for 2 hours. I appreciate it. This has been great.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. And listen, one of these, you gonna come to death row. Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna
happen. Yes. He's the coach's coach.
Yes,
so
indeed.
y'all, if you guys look him up, this is the Business Bully. This man got receipts. He's worked with everybody, and he happened to come over here and talk to little old me. So I sure appreciate you, sir. You guys, listen, I'm here every night. Holla at your girl. You know I